Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Okay, now this is something very interesting, and that will actually change the entire networking concept actually. Okay, fiber optic cables, correct? This is very fastest cable which we currently have, correct? It's simply like a glass fiber. You might have seen nowadays our Reliance Jio is actually spreading their entire network with the help of optical fibers, correct? Even there are many of internet service provider also sharing their connections with the help of optical fibers. Now, optical fibers is actually very faster cable which we can use it, correct? Now remember that to work with cable, it is a glass fiber where data would be transmitted in the form of light, correct? So remember that there is one more interesting question people ask me. What if, okay, if the straight cable is there, that is absolutely fine in optical fiber. But what if I turn the cable around? Okay, remember what I'm saying. If I'm using a straight cable in optical fiber, that's fine, no doubt about it. But maybe that if I turn the cable around like this, okay, something like this. If I connected one computer over here, another computer over here. Now, as I said, the data transmission would be happen with the help of light. Now, here is the curve. Okay, what will happen if anything happen like this? Will this particular light get distracted? Okay, or what implementation is there that this light won't be get distracted? I'm able to get my data properly. Okay, the answer is available in the next slides. Okay, now there are two different modes are available in your particular optical fiber. Now this is something called as single mode fiber, okay, and second one is called as multi-mode fiber. Okay, in single mode fiber there is only one light signal which could be transmitted, correct? Now remember that this is very interesting. You can see this is a single mode fiber optic, correct? He can only carry single light beam. Okay, and do you know what is the capacity of a single mode fiber? The maximum capacity of single mode fiber would be going for 144 gigabyte per second. Believe me, this is, I'm talking about single mode fiber. The maximum capacity he can go 144 gbps per second. Okay, then you can imagine the multi-mode fiber. Now here multiple light beams can be carried. Okay, and every light beam can have a separate capacity which he can carry, correct? Now I will show you the very interesting thing. our entire internet connections, okay, whatever connections which we are able to get right now, that entire connection is actually carrying with the help of this underwater cables. Okay, believe me, people are getting surprised that whatever internet connection which we guys are using, that is because of the underwater cables. You can see this is a complete map, and there are multiple companies who is managing and maintaining these cables. Actually, you can see there are multiple uh, centers are available. With the help of that, you will be able to come to know that which cable is running for what. You can see there are some cables. Now all these type of cables are ocean optical fiber, which is running across the globe. Ocean optical fiber. Okay, look at this video. This is a very beautiful video which will explain you how these cables are laid across. Okay, now you can see how much big cables are there. Shark attack would be happened, so because of that they are putting a lot of shield on the top of this cable actually. Okay, and this is the actual strand where people are all the data would be transmitted. Correct. Now all these strand are actually multi-mode strand, that multiple type of light beams could be traveled across. The maximum capacity of this single filament. Now there are bunch of cables actually. It will not come a single cable. Now in this PPT, they're talking about single fiber. They're talking about single mode fiber. Okay. So you can see such many fibers they combine together. It's not a single fiber. Such kind of many fiber they combine together and create a one single cable. Correct. Now you can imagine one capacity of this single fiber is 144 Gbps. You can imagine such kind of 20 fiber I can combine it together. What could be the capacity per second? Correct. So optical fiber do have an option right now. If you can turn the cable, don't worry about it. You can round the cable, twist the cable, whatever you want to do it. They have such multi-mode techniques are available. With the help of that, you will be able to get end-to-end light connectivity without any interruption. The only reason behind it why we cannot use it for local area connection, people ask me, then if it is so much fast, why we cannot use it? Okay, the reason behind it, they do require different type of connectors, different type of optical fiber network adapters. Correct. The cable itself is very costly. We cannot use that particular type of cable for our local area connection. I told you this type of cable connectivity always used at a back end, or you can say backbone. Correct. Normally we cannot use such type of cable for local area connection because it's very expensive. Okay, this is a transmission speed which they are giving it. You can see fiber optic will give you 40,000 Mbps. Okay, distance will go up to 500 meters, single mode 500 meters. It's actually more than that. Okay, it is completely depend upon what type of cable you are using. Some cables can go up to 3000 meters as well without anything. Okay, so you can see if I would like to run the cable, I will go more than 500 meters. We can just consider this type of very simple cable. You can say 500 meters and you can say 100 meters. It's a huge distance. You will go for 40,000 Mbps. Correct. Here the noise immunity is definitely 30 megahertz. Here in coaxial cable, I told you it's very high. It's complete immunity because there is no current is passing through that. It's light, correct? So remember that this is a comparison between what type of cable which you can use it. Okay, now this is what they might be going to ask you. He's going to ask you what type of port it is. Now, is it a RJ45 port? No. Is it a BNC connector port? It looks like, correct? What is the type of this port? This is called as optical fiber. If I want to connect the optical fibers to my devices, this is a type of ports which I'm getting over there, correct? So this is a type of question they will ask you regarding this particular chapter, correct? Okay, what is a performance factor? Now, this is very, very important, correct? Now, performance factor means if I'm running the cable in my organization. Now, to be honest with you, to run the cable, there are specific set of people who can do that. Not network administrator in your company can lay off the cables. There is a specific type of people who comes in your office in order to deploy only cables, because they know that which cable will go how much distance with what capacity, where they need to connect repeaters, correct, where they can reduce the noise. You can see noise is the important factor, correct? So remember that if you are running your data cable along with your electric cable, okay, that will definitely create some problems, because electric cables and data cables, they cannot run at the same duct. Actually, they should be separated and there should be some uh, insulator in between that. Otherwise, both the cables are running in the same depth. The noise, that is EMI signal distractions, would be very, very high. And if it is happen, there is a chance of data loss every time. Attenuation. Now, degradation of signals over the distance, 100%. I told you that our cable maximum distance within the land would go up to 100 meters, not more than that. So that you can see that every company, they do have their small switch rack available in every floor. If you have many computers in your organization, you do have a specific rack is available, which is a switch rack for every floor. The reason behind it, I cannot connect every computer to the centralized switch which is available. I have small departments I have created, and I will connect all the switches for the department within that separate floor actually. So that will help me to reduce the distance, because if I keep increasing the distance, the signal strength of that particular data would be goes down. Impedance. Now, AC circuit, electric flow. Okay, these are the devices. I told you that this is also the problematic things, correct? So remember that network media performance, if somebody comes to you and ask about anything about the problematic things regarding the cables, you have to check every possible thing. I told you, I gave you the diagram that you need to check all these factors: distance, cable capacity, network card capacity, any destruction is happening, correct? Distance, any cable, electric cable is running with that particular cable or not. If such kind of things is happening, it is very difficult. Sometime the performance of that particular cable goes down. Normally you can see, for that reason, whatever cables which we are using for internet, actually those cables are highly shielded, correct? So remember that that is also important. You have to purchase shield cable, because that will help you to reduce the noise, correct? Now, media converters. Okay. Now this is something which you required. Now media converters are very interesting, that if I would like to convert optical fiber into Ethernet or Ethernet back to optical fiber or vice versa, I'm using media converters. Converter means he just converting the type of media you want. Sometimes this thing is happened now. Whatever internet connection which I am using, they are using optical fiber. Now I cannot directly connect the optical fiber to my particular router. So what they put in between that, they put a media converter. A small box would be there where the input would be going to this media converter as a optical fiber, and this converter will convert the signals back to the Ethernet, and this Ethernet is connected to my router. Correct? Whatever data which is coming from my Ethernet, it is once again going to the converter, convert it into the light and send it back to the optical fiber. Correct? So these are the media converters which we can use in between that. Now fiber to coaxial. So I do have such kind of media converter is available. We can see it available on the internet. Fiber to coaxial converter. You can see this is again a converter. Here I am getting the fiber optic. Okay, this is a fiber optic cable, and this is something called as coaxial cable with a BNC connector.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Correct. So I can do such kind of convergence. Correct. Now this is very interesting. Single mode fiber to multi-mode fiber. This is also convertible is available. If I got a single mode fiber available, I want to convert it into the multi-mode fiber. I told you multi-mode fiber can carry multiple light beams with a different capacity. Okay, multiple light beams can be carried in that particular cable. That is also possible. Correct. So this is called as converter. Normally we have a USB to Ethernet converter. So that kind of sort of converters are also possible in order to convert the devices. Correct. After that, copper termination standard. Now this is something which we need to discuss. This is called as TIA and EIA. Now this is a organization, not organization, you can say this is a generic body which help us to give some standard for using this particular type of copper cabling methods actually. Now EIA and TIA, these are electronic and telecommunication related companies or organization who help us to manage in order to use the copper cable in our organizations. They do have a strict rules and regulations in designing, building and managing structured cable system. I told you that if you want to run the cable in your organization, there is a set of people who actually comes and run that cable for your organization. These people are highly skilled and they know what are the rules and regulations, which standard they need to follow in order to run those type of cable. Correct. Now this is some termination points out. Actually you can see these are some specifications which we can use in order to do that. Copper termination standard. You can see the pin number 1, 2, 3. There are 8 pins. If you can see that our particular RJ45 connectors. Okay. Now there are two different standards they are giving you. Based on that standard, if I'm saying pin number 1, it should be wire color should be green stripe. Pin name said receive X. Correct. If I'm using this specification, it would be orange stripe. It should be used for transmit. So it based on how you can connect that cable. This is what they are talking about. This is what they are talking about. This pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin 6, pin 7, pin 8. There are 8 pins with a different color of cables. So if I connect pin number 1 of RJ45 and if I connect green stripe cable over there, then that pin name could be receive. He should receive it. Correct. You can see there are 2 blue color stripe would not be used, brown color would not be used. I told you only 2 pairs would be used. Correct. 2 other pairs would not be used. 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 would not be used at all. Correct. It would be used as a backup. Okay. If anyone fills down, there is a possibility that it would switch over, but technically speaking, those cables would not be used at all. So these are the standards. Correct. Now, one more interesting thing would be happen now. Okay. Now, this is an implementation. Understand what we have started. We have started with bounded, unbounded. Correct. Under bounded, we have talked about copper. Under copper, we have talked about coaxial and twisted pair. Under twisted pair, we talked about UDP and STP. Under UDP STP, we talked about Cat5, Cat6. Correct. Under that, we talked about coaxial cables. What are the different types? Then we talked about optical fibers. Correct. Then we are going to talk about implementation of your twisted pair cable now. Okay, we have not seen the implementation about your optical fiber, but we are going to see the implementation about twisted pair. Correct. Now there are 3 major implementation: either straight through cable, okay, either crossover cable, either rollover cable. Correct. Now you can see straight through cable. Where I should use straight cable? Connect unlike devices. Okay. For example, if I would like to connect 2 different devices together, for example, if I say, I will show you over here. If I say I do have a computer and I do have switch, if I would like to connect these 2 together, what cable I should use? I should use the cable called as straight cable. Why? Because both the devices are different. Okay. If I would like to say I would like to connect switch to router, correct? Once again, I would say you should connect the cable called as straight because both the devices are different. So if I would like to connect 2 different devices, I should use the cable called as straight cable. Correct. And if I would like to create a straight cable, these are the pin numbers along with the color of the cable you have to use it. You will see pin number 1 and pin number 2. Pin number 1 and 2 would be used for transmitting. You have to use orange with white stripe, connect to the pin number 1, orange with solid orange color to the pin number 2. Pin number 3 would be for your particular receiving the data with the white stripe. And if I connect the pin number 6 with a green solid color, it would be receive the data. Correct. So you can see I'm talking about only 4 colors, only 4 cables. And if I connected something like this, it would be considered as a straight through cable. And where I can use the straight to cable, I should use the straight to cable to the 2 different devices. Then either it could be a computer to the switch, switch to the router, switch to any other device. If both the devices are completely different, I am using a straight through cable for that. Remember that this is very important. And how I can use it? Let's say RJ45 connected cable is over here. RJ45 connected would be connected to the switch over here. So you can see if I connected RJ port over here, cable number 1, sorry, pin number 1 of this connector should be going to the pin number 1 of this particular connector. So if I connect the cable with this coloring scheme and with this particular pinning scheme, the cable would be considered as a straight through cable. Correct? Remember that this is very important, where to use the straight cable and what is the color coding which we are using. Okay. Second cable is crossover cable, a network cable that connect the like devices. Okay. That means if I would like to connect same devices together, for example, computer to computer, router to router, switch to switch, means both the devices are identical, then I am supposed to use the cable called as crossover cable. Okay, the crossover cable, the pin should be like this. If I'm connected to the number 1 to one side, the other side of the cable going to the number 3. Correct? If I'm going to number 2, the other side go to the number 6. Exactly crisscross. Correct? Now this is the implementation called as crossover cable. And when I should use the crossover cable, if I would like to connect the same devices together. Same devices means, for example, this is given to computer to router, router to the computer, but both should be identical devices. Then straight away the cable would be crossover cable. Straight over cable, when should we use it? Two different devices are there. I should use the cable called as straight. If I'm using the same devices, the cable should be cross. Correct? And the third device is called as rollover cable. Now I will give you the cable. I will show you the rollover cable, how it looks like. This is cable. You can see one end of that cable is a RJ45 connector and other end is a serial connector. Okay, this is a rollover cable. Actually, this is a special type of cable. How this cable is made, this is the diagram of it. Correct, this is how it is made, but one side is a RJ45, other side is serial connector. So the computer side is a RJ45 connector, the cable which is other side is a serial connector, because mostly this cable is connected to the Cisco devices with their console port. When we talk about CCNA, then we will talk about a cable called as a rollover cable, and there is a console port on the back of it, where from that console port, if I would like to connect any Cisco devices directly to my computer, I can use this computer. But nowadays we are not using a rollover cable. We already have the USB cable available on the back of the Cisco devices. There is a mini USB is also available to the back of the Cisco devices. We can also use that, no problem. But this is a type of implementation: straight cable, cross cable, and rollover cable. Straight and cross, this is a type of implementation which we are using in our local area connection. Correct? But in today's world, we actually don't require it at all. Correct? Because our network interface card itself, it's very smart now. Okay, there is a feature called as auto negotiation. Correct? On the network interface card, if my network interface card do have a feature called as auto negotiation, then I don't need to bother about whether I'm using a straight cable or whether I'm using a cross cable. My network interface card would be able to adjust themselves. However, the condition is applied that your network interface card should support that particular feature. Remember that this is very, very important. However, majority of the company do also follow this particular standard provided for copper media, that they always prefer to use straight and crossover cable depend on requirement. whether they do have a auto negotiation feature or not, they always prefer to go for it. Correct? Okay. Now this is termination point. Now this is something, these are the devices. Now you can see this is a patch panel devices. Okay. In our servers actually, this is an optical fiber patch panel. This is an optical fiber switch. Okay. And I do have a patch panel. Now you can look at it. This is a switch number 1. This is a switch number 2. Correct? Look at this picture very carefully. I can directly connect the optical fiber from switch number 1 to switch number 2. But look at the implementation, how they have done. They connected the wire from here to this patch panel. Okay. And from this patch panel, the another wire is going to this switch. Ultimately, these two switches are actually connected with each other with the help of this patch panel. Correct? Now, there is a reason behind it why we are using the patch panel. This is the reason. Enable termination storage splicing optical fiber connector cable to the network. This is very, very simplified way to handle the optical fiber. Okay. Normally, if we want to connect the devices like this, we cannot directly connect the devices to this. We have to connect the devices through the patch panel, because if any termination would be happen, it would be happen on this particular patch panel, not with these devices. Correct? The device would send a signal. If any termination would be happen, it should be happened over here. Correct? Similarly, there is another patch panel which we can talk about. Normal patch panel. Okay, you can see. Okay, this is the patch panel for normal Ethernet switch. Correct? That was the patch panel for optical fiber. This is the patch panel for our normal Ethernet switch. This is very costly patch panel actually, because it's a fiber optic. This is very less expensive. This is also used in the same fashion. Implementation wise, it's the same. The only thing is this is used for your particular normal switches. This is used for optical fiber switches. Correct? Punch down block. Now this is also interesting. Now once we finish this, we will go for a break of 10 minutes. Okay, this is a break point. If you have seen this, now in early days we used to use this. Okay, you can use it. This is a manual process. Break pointers. Okay. You can connect like this. This is a break punch down RJ45 jack actually. This is punch down break. Correct? You can directly connect the wires over here. Currently, we do not use this at all. Correct? These are all termination devices which we are using. Termination points. Correct? So if you go to your very high-end enterprise network, if you go inside a data centers, if you are getting a lot of switches, lot of cables are running, that cables are connected to the switches through the patch panel. They cannot be connected directly to your switch actually. For example, if I'm running the computer, okay, I said my computer is connected to the switch. In real life, this is not the case. In real life, this could be a patch panel, and this patch panel is connected to the switch. I cannot directly connect this particular computer to the switch. That is a standard. You have to connect to the patch panel first, and from the same port, it will be going to the switch, because this would be my termination point. In anything happens wrong, it would be happen on this particular patch panel, not here. Correct?
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Plenum cables. Now, this is the type of cables which we are using if we are transferring the cable from the ducts in the building. Now, these are the special type of cables. I will show you. You look at the pictures. Okay, this is a special type of cable. Actually, this is not a normal optical fiber cable. This is a special type of cable. Now, it looks like an optical fiber cable. It is comes under the category of cat 6, cat 5 as well, no doubt about it. But these type of cable normally used in this type of implementation. Okay, if I would like to transfer the cable from the ceiling, from under the basement or something like that, where I'm not be able to look into that particular cable. Okay, so that type of implementation, we are using this type of cable. Now, what happen if any case, any kind of emergency happen, if any fire is happening, this particular cable, if this particular cable burns, it will not create any kind of poisonous gases. Correct. Now, this is something very, very interesting. If I want the particular cable to be transferred from any particular type of ceilings where human interaction is not there, I won't be able to see what is happening below the floor or under the on the top of roof. I don't know. Correct. I need to take a special precautions if I'm running the cables like this. So that time, plenum cables is the special type of cables. Plenum is nothing but a type of area where we are transferring that particular cables from. If any case these cables are burned, it will burn, no doubt about it, but it will not give you any kind of poisonous gases at all. This is very interesting. PVC, that is a polyvinyl chloride. Now this is something called as PVC cables. I will show you. This is an extra protection they are given actually. Okay, this is a PVC cable. Okay, now this particular PVC cable, now if you go for that particular cable, this is our normal PVC pipelines. If I want to go for any kind of very rigid implementation where I want to go for some areas where I need to transfer the data from one building to another building, and I want to run the cables from one building to another building through some tunnels, through some pipelines or something like that. That time I'm using this PVC cables. Now PVC cable which we have look into the picture, that was normal regular cables which we have, but PVC twisted pair cables is also possible. On the top of that shield, actually there is an additional coating would be done for polyvinyl chloride. That is an additional benefit for you that will help you to that cable will sustain more time. Actually, fire resistance would be there. So in case of such implementation, we are using special type of cable. We are not using a normal cat5 cables which we are running like that. To be honest with you, in Indian companies we are not following this particular standards. In Indian companies, below the floor actually, okay, below the flooring, we are using a normal cat5 cable, the one which we are using. We are not using that plenum cables or any other special type of cable, because cost of this cable is very high as compared to normal cat5 or cat6 cable, the one which we are using. Correct. But yes, there are some standards like this which we can use it. This is some example will be given that how plenum and PVC cables can be run, okay, within below the floor, or you can see upside the ceiling if we want to run the cable. These are the type of cable which we are going to use it. Okay, now this is some guidelines would be given how we can use the cabling. Correct. We how to we can connect the devices together, what type of cables we should use, what type of implementation we can use it. So these are some guidelines which is given. Now these guidelines, it's typically for cabling only. Okay, it is not for any other devices. How cable should run, what cable should use, how cable should implement, correct? Where should we use optical fiber, where should we use coaxial, where should you use normal twisted pair, where we should use polychloride, polyvinyl chloride cables, correct? Every guideline would be given over here, correct? That's why the cabling people are completely different. Okay, those people are completely different guy who implement this cabling. They know the design of the cabling, they know the quality of the cabling, they know the implementation method of the cleaning. So our companies normally give the project to them, they will do the cabling. Your job is to put the devices only, that's it, correct? So those people knows about it, how to run this particular cable. Now this is some question they are giving you, what type of network media you want to use it, whether it's a bounded or RFID, that type of questions they are going to ask you. They will definitely ask you what is a twisted pair cable, UTP cable, STP cable, correct? So we will revise this chapter one more time, and if the time permits, we will start the next chapter, correct? But I would revise this chapter one more time to understand it better. It's very simple chapter. I will tell you only highlighted point you need to remember. Correct? The first thing is what is a bounded media and what is a unbounded media. This is very precise word they are using, because in your exam also they are using the same word. Correct? Bounded media means physical conductor. That means typically made up of copper or glass cables. Unbounded means micro electromagnetic signals, radio waves, infrared. These are the category called as unbounded. Correct? Now, second thing, where this cable comes, if you consider OSI model location, we know that cables, connectors, converters, it comes under the physical layer. Correct? After that, copper media. Now in copper media, we will have two type of cables are available. One is called as twisted cable. Second one is called as coaxial cable. Correct? Now you can see there are two copper, solid copper and standard copper. We are not interested go deep dive into that, but we know that there are two type of cable. One is twisted pair cable and one is called as coaxial cable. Correct? Twisted pair cable. Now here is the important point. In twisted pair cable, there are four key pair of cables are available which are twisted, correct? Which contains with some specific color code on it, and it contains some shield on it. Why it is twisted? It is twisted because to reduce the EMI, electromagnetic interference. Correct? So twisted pair normally we are using for LAN implementation. For our local area connection, we are using twisted pair cable. Correct? Under twisted pair cable, there are two categories. Okay, two types, not category, two types. One is called as unshelled twisted pair. Second one is called as shelled twisted pair. Okay, both are technically same. It contain four pair which are twisted. The only difference I told you, one do have additional shield on it that will help you to reduce the noise. UTP, you do not have any additional shield on the top of the wire. Because of that, UTP are very reliable and inexpensive. STP are expensive in that particular content. Correct? Now, under that twisted pair and untwisted pair, a twisted pair, under UTP and STP, there are multiple categories. There is a Cat3 cable. I told you this is a very important table. Cat3 cable, the network type is a Ethernet. The maximum speed of that Ethernet is 10 Mbps. The maximum distance that cable can run is 100 meter. Means after the 100 meter, am I getting the signals? Yes, you will get the signal, but the quality of the signal would be reduced as you move away from that particular distance. Cat4 is a IBM token ring. This is a 16 Mbps. The capacity is 100 Mbps, 100 meters. Cat5, this is a standard one, which is a fast Ethernet, okay, which will give you the 100 Mbps capacity with 100 meters. Correct. Now there are different type of category. Based on category, different type of networks are available, different type of maximum speeds are available, and different type of maximum distance are available on that particular cable. Now in Cat5, there are two type of cable, UTP and STP. Depends on your price. There are two type of cable. You can purchase the cable, the one you want. Correct. Now, if I see twisted pair connectors, this is a RJ45 connectors which contain 8 pins. Every pin should be connected with some wires with these copper pallets. Correct. Now, RJ45 connector is a standard connector which is also come under the physical layer I told you. Correct. After that, we talked about coaxial cable. Okay, the coaxial cable normally we are using in order to connect our television and in order to get the internet connection through the cables nowadays. Correct. However, coaxial cable do have different type of capacity. One is a solid core wire, one piece of a wire. Second one is stranded wire, multiple strand of solid wire. This is a stranded capacity. This is either I will get a single solid wire in coaxial, or either I will get multiple stranded copper wire in coaxial. Correct. Now, majorly we would be able to get single conductor. That is nothing but a single solid one wire, one piece of strand. Correct. Now, these are the type of cables which we can use it. Correct. RG9 currently we are using for cable television and cable modems. Correct. So RG9 is the most reliable cable connection which we can use it nowadays. At the same time, that cable can run the internet signals as well. Correct. After that, what are the type of connection or connectors are available on coaxial cable? There is a F connector which we normally use it for television, and there is a BNC connector which is nothing but British Naval connector. We are using it for our actually computers or any particular modems which we are using it. Correct. Now this is the question that what type of connectors and questions they are going to ask you. Then we move to the optical fiber. Now optical fiber is most reliable and most expensive and very high speed cable which we have. Correct. It comes with two different variants. One is a single mode fiber, second one is called as multi-mode fiber. Correct. In single mode fiber, single line or single light beam which would be carry in a single mode fiber. In a multi-mode fiber, we do have a capacity that it carries multiple light signal in a single strand. Correct. It is possible, but in a single mode fiber, only one light beam would be transferred. However, the capacity of both the cables is very high because majority of backbones which we are connected, where we are transferring huge amount of data, then we are using optical fiber cable there. Correct. Then cable properties and their comparison is given in this particular table. Correct. The twisted pair, coaxial and fiber. You can see the fiber optic cable is all the way down. It's very good remarks. The only thing is it do required lot of money in order to implement it, because it doesn't require the normal implementation. Lot of high-end devices we need to purchase for that. Okay. Now this is a questionnaire that what type of optical fiber, that is fine. Now what are the network performance factor? Means where your media can get filled, means where your wire can give you the performance for it? There are three reasons they are given. Noise. Electromagnetic signals can destruct your data. Correct? Distance sometime. The distance also will create the problem. The length of the cable should not be too much. Correct? Third important place, where you are running the cable. If you are running the cable with your electric wiring, then definitely you will be in a trouble, because lot of noise will happen and that will disturb lot of data communication which is happening through that particular wire. So these are the three primary reasons where you will find the problems in the media. Okay, now we talked about media converters. Now there are a lot of media converters are available based on your requirement. You can use any media converters, whatever type of conversion you required. Correct? If you want Ethernet to optical fiber, optical to Ethernet, fiber to coaxial, any type of media converters which we can use it to convert the signal from one media to another media. Correct? After that, termination standard. Now TIA, Telecommunication Industry Association and Electronic Industries Alliance, these are the company who is actually creating the standard for majority of cables which is available in order to create the LANs. So they do have a specific standard and color coding which is given to you in order to create or in order to connect the cables with the help of RJ45 connector jack. Correct? So this is the table. Now don't worry about this particular table. These are the two specifications which we are given. In both the specification, you can see only 4 cables are practically used. 4 cables are idle actually. They are not usable. Correct? Now, how to put the cable? Now, this is the implementation part. We talked about 3 different type of cable. One is called a straight. Second one is a crossover. Third one is a rollover. Straight through cable, if I would like to connect two different devices, I would prefer to use straight cable. If I would like to connect two similar devices, both the devices are same level, same devices, then I would prefer to use crossover cable. Correct? Rollover cable, if I would like to connect any device like a Cisco devices through the console port, I should use the rollover cable. Rollover cable, one end is a serial, another end is a RJ45 connector. I shown you, correct? I show you the picture. One end is a RJ45, another end is a serial. Serial port or serial point or a serial part of that particular cable should be connected to the back of the router, and RJ45 connected to the directly to the computer. Correct? But normally I told you that nobody using a rollover cable nowadays. Only old routers and old switches do require console cable. Nowadays we do have a USB, mini USB options are available which we can use it in order to do that particular configuration. Correct? After that, we have seen the termination point. Termination point means where we can land the signals. If any particular signal needs to be terminated, we should have some device over there who can terminate the signal for us. Now I told you about patch panel or punch down block. Punch down block we are not using at all in this environment, but patch panel and fiber distribution panel, I told you, from the computer I cannot directly connect the cable to the switch. That cable will go to the termination point first. That is nothing but a patch panel, and from patch panel I will run one more cable, extra cable, from that point to that particular switch. Correct? So such kind of implementation standards are available. After that, there are special requirement. If I'm running the cable under the floor on the top of our ceiling, then I should run that particular cable with a specific security measures. I should use the cable called as plenum cable, which will help us in order to reduce the smoke in the case of burning situation. Those cables will burn, but that will not create any smoke. There is another cable called as PVC based cable. Now these cables which I can run it, if I want to run the cables from under the buildings, under the floors, or such kind of very rigid environment, I can use this particular type of cable. These cables are very rigid. It contains some polyvinyl chloride additional layer on the top of it, correct? So it would be very expensive as compared to the normal shield twisted pair cable, correct? After that, some of the guideline, correct? Create network layer listed, consider the performance factor, consider the environmental limitation. These are some of the guidelines which you need to follow in order to do the cabling in your environment, correct? So understand, this is completely talked about cables, which is a bounded media, correct? Now the next chapter we are going to move, that is completely unbounded media, correct? I hope you don't have any doubts in this question, or do you have any doubts in a chapter number 4? Oh, sorry, chapter number 2. You can ask me any doubts in a bounded media. You can ask me at any point of time. Any doubt in twisted pair, coaxial, optical fiber? This is very basic, very simple. If you have any doubts, you can ask me that. Okay, no doubt, that's great. So let's start the chapter number 3. Now this chapter will completely talk about unbounded network media. Means here we are going to talk about your infrared, we are going to talk about wireless technology, microwave, correct? All the media which actually required some additional thing. Correct? Now the first thing they are going to talk about is called as wireless communication. Correct? Now this is very interesting. Now here in wireless, our media is air. Okay? We are using complete cable connection in our enterprise network, but nowadays wireless technologies also developed a lot, and wireless technology also giving you much more options in order to create local area networks. Majority business people or management people, they always try to connect their end user devices. I am talking about laptops, tablets, your mobile phones, correct? The client devices I'm talking about. All the client devices, majorly people are using wireless techniques in their offices to connect it, correct? Still, bounded media is there in the data center because we are not using wireless connection for servers. It has to be wired, correct? So wireless communication would be completely depend on the media called as air. So everything would be done with the help of wavelength, correct? Now here the concept or the term which we will come called as latency. Now this is a time of delay. This is a delay in your particular time to reach the packet from source to destination. Now latency is a very common word which we can see it in wireless communication. Because the media is air, you might face the latency problem because latency would be happened in order to send the data from one location to another location. Correct? The second important factor would be, it is called as MIMO, that is called as multiple input and multiple output.
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
This is something called a MIMO technology. Now, in MIMO technology, we would have multiple antennas which we can use it in order to increase the bandwidth of your particular wireless device. I will show you the interesting thing. Okay, these are MIMO antennas. Now, these are very big antennas, but I will show you. These are small Cisco antennas which I connected to the wireless router. That will give us a MIMO based technology. This is based on MIMO based technology, maximum input, maximum output. That will increase the bandwidth of your wireless device. That will also increase the range of that particular device. Now there is one more interesting thing is there. Now I don't know whether it's available in India or not, but okay, this is called as MU-MIMO device. Now you can see how many antennas are there. Okay. You see, okay. I don't know, Cisco do have specific antenna. They do have a router. They don't have an antenna. They directly have a router. Okay. You can see these type of devices, multi-user, maximum input and maximum output. This is a technique. Okay, this technique allows you to connect multiple antennas on the top of the device. That will help us to increase the bandwidth. Okay, multiple radio channel, that means multi-channel is available, and that will also help you to increase the network range and the bandwidth. So you can see these are the two type of technologies are available under the wireless communication. Now let's see what is there in this particular technology. Correct. Now in which layer this particular comes, wireless technology devices, all comes under the physical layer, because we are talking about once again the wireless adapter, wireless receiver, correct? So that also comes under the category called as physical layer. Okay. Now what is the wireless transmission methods are available? Now this is pretty simple and straightforward explanation that is given. We know that we have a Bluetooth option. Nowadays we are not using the Bluetooth option, but we know that we had a Bluetooth option in our mobile phones where we can connect multiple devices up to specific distance. Now they are talking about 30 meters. It is practically not 30 meter. It is less than that. But yes, they are using radio frequency in sight and in order to transfer the data in that particular thing. Now they are using a technique called as near field communication. This is a technique which will help you to send the data in order to in a specific minimum distance. If I would like to send the data, this is the technique which they are using. Now there is a RFID. I told you that RFID which we are using in our offices in order to punch our card. Correct. This is also work on a radio frequency. It's communicate between a tag and reader. There has to be some reader. We need to have a tag. We just need to put the tag over there. It should be recorded. Okay, it should send a radio frequency. He will read that particular tag, take that particular data and store it inside the system. That is called as RFID. We already experienced this kind of things in our day-to-day life. Now IR, now infrared, which we are not using at all, but in old cell phones, which we have infrared technique in order to send the data. Infrared technique which we are using in multiple other devices actually. Now it work on a light actually. It work on a light with a minimum uh, capacity on it. He will bounce that particular light, and whatever things are coming back, based on that he will read the data. Correct. So this is infrared technology, which we are also using it in some cameras, okay, nowadays. But earlier it was used in cell phones and other devices in order to send the data. NFC, now this is something, a very old devices which we are using. This is called as near field communication. It is actually slower than Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth actually use the second version of NFC, which is little bit faster. Correct. They both are using the same technique. They are using radio frequency. Correct. In order to send and receive the data. So you can imagine Bluetooth, our RFID, infrared, NFC based devices all comes under the category called as unbounded medias actually, because sometimes they are using radio frequency as a media, sometimes they are using light as a media, microwave as a media, or air as a media. That wireless is using air as a media. Correct. Now these we are not using it for computers, but for our smaller devices we are using that. Correct. Now in wireless technology we have multiple standards, but in IEEE they are coming with the standard called at 802.11. Now any device which you can see, any device which you can see in wireless specifically, okay, specifically in wireless technology, whether it's a wireless adapter, wireless receiver, wireless sender, wireless router, wireless access point, wireless repeater, whatever wireless devices which you have, all the devices coming under the family called as 802.11 standard. IEEE, actually it's an organization. Now you can see there are multiple organizations. You can okay. This is IEEE is institute. You can see here Institute of Electric and Electronic Engineer. This is a very old and very respected organization, which is a non-profit organization. This organization actually create multiple standards for electric devices as well, majorly in a computer industry. Correct. Now they created this particular technology with this standard. They also created Ethernet technology. Whatever Ethernet technology or Ethernet cables, wireless adapter, Ethernet switches, whatever Ethernet technology they are implemented, it is also implemented or designed, and it is invented by IEEE actually. This is a non-profit organization who can actually do research and implement and do continuous study on the devices and make it better all the time. Correct. So based on that, they are creating 802.11. This is a standard which they have created for wireless technology. Correct. Now here, based on this standard, they do have created some different type of models. We can say category. If I purchase any device, which is having 802.11a category, okay, or with A standard, the maximum transmission speed means maximum transmission speed for that device would be 54 Mbps through wireless connection. Correct? The frequency would be 5 gigahertz. Okay, and range would be 20 meter. Actually, practically it's not 20 meter at all. And maximum number of one stream, that means only one stream of the connection would be happening. Okay, that is a MIMO stream, maximum input and output, only one stream on only one connection would be available. Correct? Then after that they are coming with 802.11 AC, which is having 433 Mbps per channel, 5 gigahertz, maximum 35 range, maximum input and output, which is eight different streams would be available. Now stream means one-to-one connection parallelly would be continuously happening with that particular technique. To be honest, this particular technology is failed. It's the biggest loss. Correct? Nobody used this technology at all. Correct? After that, they are coming with a solution called at 802.11b. Okay, the maximum speed of that wireless device would be 11 Mbps. The frequency is 2.4 gigahertz. Correct? The capacity is 100 meters now. Now they increase the capacity, they reduce the frequency, but they increase the capacity, and only one stream would be there. One-to-one connection would be there. Correct? Then comes with 802.11g. This is a G standard device, which is coming with 54 Mbps. Frequency would be there. 100 meters would be there. Correct? Now you can see, you said that what is this actually? These all are devices. I will show you. I will simply say 802.11g router. Okay, whatever router which you can see. Okay, the capacity of this router would be 54 Mbps because it is a 11G router. If I change it to A, okay, this is a A capacity router. Right? If I go to AC, okay, this is AC is not available actually. Okay, this is a 802.B. Okay, this is a very old router which we are talking about. I hope so. Okay, dual band gigabyte wireless Wi-Fi router. Now under TP-Link, I believe that that router is still available, but under Cisco that is not available at all. Correct? So these are standards, and based on that, you are creating the devices. If I say 802.N, this is a very high speed routers which we have. Okay, these are the routers which is having N capacity, means the maximum speed of that router would be 150 Mbps. The frequency is actually 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, and 5 gigahertz because it comes with two different channels. The maximum distance would be 70 meter, and it has a 4 different stream. That means 4 parallel streams of the connection would be happen at any given point of time. Correct? So all these are standard. If I simply change this name and say access point, so I will get an access point with this standard. This is an access point. This is not a router. This is an access point. If I say repeater, I will get a repeater. correct? Because this is a standard. If I purchase the repeater with this standard, I would be getting all this facility, correct? So in wireless 802.11 is a basic standard they are given, and based on that they would be created multiple devices. I just shown you router. They create receiver as well with the same standard. They create access point as well. They create repeaters as well. They create based on this antennas as well that will give you the best input and output, correct? They also create gaming devices. I don't know whether it's available or not. Hmm. This is a wireless receiver. Okay, this is a gaming adapter actually. It worked on uh, 802.11 G standard. It's something which is very interesting device, which is very popular all across the globe. Okay. Currently, it is I don't think so. It is available, but this is something which is called as a G-based device. So based on this, they have created every single device based on this particular standard. Correct. So if you come across any wireless device, 100% the standard would be 802.11. Either it could be A standard, B standard, G standard, or N standard. Based on that, your frequencies change, your range of that particular change, and MIMO streams are changed. That's it. So interestingly, this table will help me to understand what device which I can use in order to use the wireless technologies. Correct? So this is very interesting standard which is provided by IEEE in wireless devices. Correct? I can see there are some standards available based on the countries as well. In US, you can use the channel 1 to 11. In Europe, we can use 1 to 13. In Japan, we can use 1 to 14. Correct. Now, this is something very dependent because there are some compliance regarding the wireless technologies. Correct. Some countries will not allow the wireless channel to go through 1 to 8 because currently everything is working on wireless. You are connected with the wireless devices. Now, these are the few examples they are giving you that there is some problem can create the channel issues because there are some dedicated channels which some countries will not allow you to go for that particular channel. Correct? Now, there are three major channel 1, 6, and 11, 1, 6, and 11 in 2.4 gigahertz band, which is non-overlapping. That means you will not be find out any other device can work on the same frequency. Correct? Because sometimes this channel can overlap and that will create an interference. For example, if I have multiple wireless devices together, and if those devices are working on the same channel, then it is a problematic. Correct? That will cause an interference between the devices. That will create a most of the time disconnection issues. Correct? So that time you have to make sure that the channel of these all devices, if you don't want to connect them together, precisely I do have some wireless routers, some other wireless devices which may be working on some channel. I do have wireless cameras which may be working on some other channel actually. If I have multiple wireless devices together and if I would like to connect it, if both all the devices are working on a same channel number, then all the devices will create the problem because of the interference. So here in this particular slide, they talked about it, that try to use non-overlapping channels. Okay, I will show you tomorrow what exactly the channel means and how we can use the different channel and settings in wireless technology in order to avoid the interference. Correct? I believe that we should stop here. Till so far, do you have any doubts, any issues regarding chapter number 1, chapter number 2? You understand LAN, you understand what is a cable. Third chapter will understand what are the wireless technologies are available. Okay, so do you have any doubts in chapter number 1 and chapter number 2? This is complete theory, don't worry. You will get a practical after we finish this particular theory. Everything would be practical if you start advanced level. So we will quickly finish all these things. So we will start practicals. So that would be more interesting part. But do you have any doubts?
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.